So, on pole position, Leo Robinson from Algeria is going to be certainly one name to keep an eye on from Fusion Motorsport, as he won 2 years ago the I Games in Portimao. Is more than determined to shine again here in Valencia. He did a brilliant job into the qualifying heat and super heats. He's going to be from pole position with the advantage on the inside line. Our race director Martin Bean keeping an eye on the proceedings of the grid before we get going. In front, the formation of the grid seems good enough. We are green and racing for the X30 Junior final in Valencia. And a great start from Leo Robinson from pole position. Nothing to worry about for the Fusion driver, the 37. Into the turn number 1, no trouble at all. And one of the VDK drivers, I'm afraid, had to cut through the grass. And this is the number 34. There's already some trouble, I'm afraid, for further back, the 34. Let's try to see who that is from the VDK. As we'll get back to that in a minute. Hopefully it was not Thibaut Ramakers. I didn't get to see that clearly, but the driver's already putting himself into a good placing for the rest of the competition here. This is Clément Outran. I've just found him, Clément Outran, unfortunately, who lost a bit of time. One of the teammates of Thibaut Ramakers further back. We will see where he'll end up at the end of this lap. But as you can see already, the pressure being put by Macaulay Bishop. I was telling you about this young British driver, and he's going to go past, certainly trying to get ahead of Leo Robinson as soon as the race has started now. Lap completed, the first one of 17 to go. Look at Leo Robinson, Macaulay Bishop. That's going to be very tight indeed. Investigation flag for Clément Outran. And you can see that the young Frenchman, who didn't have had a bit of a trouble actually cutting the grass into the first few corners, the first few meters in the first corner. And watch out, because further back, Thibaut Ramakers is showing his pace and getting ahead with Hugo Martinello. This is for second and third, and Macaulay Bishop unfortunately lost ground and 2 places in the process. Here it is, Leo Robinson now being put under pressure by 2 new names with Ramakers and Hugo Martinello. 4th place, Macaulay Bishop is going to have to catch up. He needs to stay with the group ahead, otherwise he will be stuck in the wrong wagon of the train. 5th place in the hands of the number 26 of Marc Granada Ferrero, one of the teammates at Danelin Racing. Look at Thibaut Ramakers, look at the pace he's being able to put. He's taking the lead just before the chicane. That's something we haven't seen that much, and Ramakers is giving everything he had, but he's actually opening the door quite too much, and this is actually open door on the way to turn number 1. And back in the lead, Leo Robinson taking Hugo Martinello and Bishop again. Macaulay Bishop on his way, certainly trying to go around the inside. Yes, he does. And Thibaut Ramakers might want to do the same. And watch out, because further back, Granada Ferrero is actually inviting himself to the party too. So that's a couple of positions lost by Thibaut Ramakers. That was a beautiful move by the Belgian, who went ahead of the pack in the chicane, but then fell back to 5th place in the process immediately. The battle is already raging. This is only lap number 2. And look at the 32 trying to find his bit as well. This is Thomas Bierman further back, as he's doing a great job as well, fighting his way through to the field. Way back with the leaders, Leo Robinson, as Granada Ferrero further back, Thomas Bierman at 26. This is Granada Ferrero getting ahead of Thibaut Ramakers with Aaron Garcia. Aaron Garcia is back in the mix as well. He gets ahead of Marc Granado Ferreira in turn number 1. Aaron Garcia with the number 36 and the Birelat colors is now in the 4th place in front of Granada Ferrero. Thibaut Ramakers down in 7. Then we have Jules Caranta. We had forgotten about the Frenchman. He's dropping all the way down to 8, unfortunately, in front of Dylan Visser with the 39. This is Daniel Dalacan in the top 10. It's going all over the place, isn't it, in these first few laps of the race here in Junior. But that's the way we expect it to be, as it is. It has been very intense all throughout the weekend in all the qualifying heats. But Leo Robinson is busy demonstrating that he's not here to have a laugh. He's here for serious business, as well as Macaulay Bishop trying to go around the inside. There was a bit of a gap, and that was enough for him to dive through. Macaulay Bishop is back in the lead, and that could be the start of some trouble for Leo Robinson. Watch out for Hugo Martinello with his XP machine. That was a bit too tight maybe for the launch in the turn number 1. The door was shut immediately on the exit by Leo Robinson. That could be quite enough for Aaron Garcia to go through. Aaron Garcia is getting back in the battle. He's up into 3rd with the fastest lap in the pocket as well. He's determined to shine before his public, and a good move as well. Oh, and one of the 32 from KR Sport just left the track. This is Thomas Bierman, as well as Noah Montero. I guess certainly the two went together in turn number 1. Noah Montero is nowhere to be seen, or maybe he lost some time actually into this race. So he was he dropped a bit of a time, Noah Montero, in the process. So I guess maybe some trouble involving him and Thomas Bierman. We'll need to see about that, but as a result, Thomas Bierman, who was running not so far from the top 10, is having to retire. Back in the with the contenders, the 54 on your picture. This is coming from further back, Adrian Ferrer. Adrian Ferrer is trying his way through. He's here for the fight, and he just went ahead of Thibaut Ramakers down in 8. Macaulay Bishop still in the lead, 68, with a white crash helmet. No colors, no sponsors, is the outsider and the wild card that we didn't expect, even though. And look at Aaron Garcia diving through. What a launch of an attack it was for Aaron Garcia. As in front of me, I have the 25 from Fusion in trouble, as he's about to stay on the sideline. Let's try to see who that is. This is Sacha van Patbosch. Unfortunately, by the look of it, he's going to have to retire. There he is, the young Dutchman. Quite unfortunate for him, as he was so competitive in last year in the mini category, terminating 3rd in the IAME Euro Series, 2nd into the IAME Winter Cup as well. And watch out, because the battle for the lead is still raging, and what a comeback that is. Aaron Garcia is taking the lead in the chicane, and that's open door that could actually take Leo Robinson up into 2nd. No, as Macaulay Bishop is shutting the door, but not quite enough, as Robinson and Martinello dive through on his inside and take El June 40 with him. The teammates are back. Jana Racing very much in the battle with 40 and Martinello. There's 2 against the rest of the field that might actually go their way if they're able to help each other and at least push each other to fight against Robinson and Aaron Garcia. We had told you about Garcia. He's been the fastest in qualifying. He's been on top of his game all the way until the superheat. And there goes on the inside, Jules 40 getting ahead of his teammate. Martinello shutting the door, because further back we have Macaulay Bishop, who was trying as well to take advantage of the opportunity, but he's having none of it, and he has to stay in 5th. It can go actually all the ways. This is the end of lap number 7 out of 17. And let's not forget, let's count on those 2 drivers from Jana Racing on your picture. 29 of Jules 40, Martinello with the 18. He's going to try to take the slipstream, and Macaulay Bishop is first to dive through, but it was a bit too short, unfortunately, but that could put actually the Jana Racing drivers into trouble. Macaulay Bishop has the pace. He has demonstrated through the qualifying heats, starting the day with an 18 driver recovery. Can you imagine that? And once again, and a bit of some trouble, unfortunately, for Hugo Martinello. Martinello dropped the pace and dropped a bit of momentum, and look at Macaulay Bishop clipping the curb and being very aggressive. That's actually going very wrong for Hugo Martinello, who dropped a couple of positions in the process. Martinello was 4th, and I think he dropped even behind Thibaut Ramakers indeed, so he's now in 7th place, as it is Hugo Martinello, sorry. Yeah, it is the tail of the second group here of this final, so there's more than one contender indeed, but you can see that it's the 3 leaders actually have been able to put a bit of a distance between themselves. And in 4th place, Macaulay Bishop. So now it's down to the 2 leaders in front. Aaron Garcia, who was only 6th on the grid after his trouble in the superheat. He could have been on pole in this junior class in front of Leo Robinson if the material had not decided otherwise, but it doesn't matter now, because Garcia, the Spaniard, is on top of his form, on top of his pace, and so is Leo Robinson as Jules 40. There's going to be a battle of the giants. Jules 40, the former champion of France, is cultivating the goal, like many young karters, to one day reach Formula 1 representing France. And he's doing a great job as well already today. He's not an unknown at all in the world of karting. Jules 40 here in 3rd place, and why not 4 more? We're about to conclude lap number 9. Aaron Garcia, Leo Robinson, Jules 40. 3 aces in one hand, but just 1 victory up for grab. Going around the inside, Leo Robinson, and that's open door as well for Jules 40. Going from 1st to 3rd, Aaron Garcia is going to have to do it all over again. But he didn't put a lot of resistance to it. He has the pace. What he needs to do is to stay within, not lose the contact, not lose the ground. because further back Macaulay Bishop actually might be the first one for the taking, even though he lost some time. 1.1 second now. Further back is Macaulay Bishop in 4th. So not quite a scenario he had foreseen in his head coming to this final, I'm sure. But Macaulay Bishop very much on his own in 4th place, as Adrien Ferrer is down in 5th. But 6/10 he has to go through as well if he wants to catch up with Macaulay Bishop. We're not there yet, but look at the pressure by Jules Caranta on Leo Robinson. Robinson is having to do everything he can to keep a clean line, to keep the racing line, to keep the momentum, not to do any mistake, because it's not one but 2 drivers chasing him just behind. They're there for the taking, and you could see Jules Caranta once again trying to make his bit around the turn number 1, but there was not just enough room. Very difficult actually to align yourself in turn number 1. And Leo Robinson doing a great job once again. Fastest lap in this race, that's all he needs to do. Put qualifying lap after qualifying lap, not caring about what's happening behind him. Quite difficult to say indeed when Jules Caranta is going for the attack again on the way to turn number 10. And 11 was a good one. Better exit of the hairpin, and it was enough for Jules Caranta to take the lead again of this junior final. And from this point on, this is foot down the throttle at full speed. And if you have enough momentum taking the slipstream, that could be quite enough as well for Leo Robinson to switch back. Yes, he does. And Aaron Garcia goes with it. Aaron Garcia goes with him. And upper place in 2nd is the new chaser. Leo Robinson down in 3rd. And look at Macaulay Bishop. He's back as well in the group. He was actually distanced for more than a second at some point, but he took advantage of the battle in front of him to really put it all together. Was lapping 57.8 at the moment, not quite as fast as the leaders in front of him, but that was enough to make the connection. And now it's going the other way around, I'm afraid, for Jules Caranta. The French driver from Jana Racing is going to have to really stay focused, otherwise he might lose even a place on the podium. Going the way of Macaulay Bishop in 3rd, chasing Aaron Garcia in turn number 11 in the middle part of the track. Leo Robinson in 1st. Always easier to chase than being chased, it is in karting. And we shall see if the Algerian driver has what it takes to see it through until the checkered flag. That's going to be difficult. That's going to be difficult indeed. What he can do maybe is try to catch up. If he stays ahead, or maybe lose at least maximum 1 position, he can maybe wait for the later stages of the last lap to try to make the difference. The theory, of course, there's always a distance with the practical aspects of racing, isn't it? For the rest of the classification, quickly, as we still have Adrien Ferrer down in 5th. Thibaut Ramakers making his way up to 6 in front of Hugo Martinello. The number 14, Henry Jocelyn, is down in 8 in front of Karajan and Granada Ferrero, running up the top 10 as we speak. But Aaron Garcia is all over the back of Leo Robinson, trying not to put his front fairing just too much in the wheel. You need all the aspect of his chassis, you need all the compounds to stay in place all throughout the checkered flag, otherwise that could be penalty. But so far so good for the protagonist of the junior final here in Valencia. And once again, difficult to say who can actually have the upper hand. Aaron Garcia is trying his bit around the inside of the chicane and goes through once again. Garcia is back in the lead, but for how long? That's the question, isn't it? As yes, indeed, Robinson might try to go again. Watch out for Macaulay Bishop around the outside of Jules Caranta. He's not quite able to make it through yet. Caranta back in 3rd. He wants to be in as well. He wants his piece of the cake. And he needs to go through and need to get past Leo Robinson first if he wants to have a chance to attack Garcia. That's gonna be down to the wire once again. As much as we had for the mini class, the juniors are no different in terms of intensity. With the same engines, the IAME X30 brings down the performance to an equal pretty much, as Jules Caranta takes 2nd place from Leo Robinson. That particular part of the track after the hairpin of 10 is certainly one of the best spots that we've seen all weekend for overtaking maneuvers. And once again, he made that happen, Jules Caranta. Now in 2nd, Leo Robinson in 3rd. 4th place for Macaulay Bishop. He might be the most and the biggest threat actually to the top 3 in front of him. If he can keep up with the pace as we enter lap 15. If he can keep up with the pace, he might be the one surprising them all in the last lap. We shall see about that, but maybe they won't be 4 drivers for too long, as Macaulay Bishop is trying his bit into the chicane. But look at this coming behind. Adrien Ferrer and Thibaut Ramakers in 5th and 6th could actually be the next one joining the party. And why not with the idea of shaking things up. And Leo Robinson is not particularly comfortable. He just watched over his shoulder He was just surveilling where Macaulay Bishop is on his left. And Aaron Garcia as well, trying to keep the inside to Jules Caranta. Watch out for the exit of 11. That's where actually he lost the place. But Caranta is not quite able quite yet, as Macaulay Bishop is in trouble. Macaulay Bishop is trying to get around of Leo Robinson, but going defensive as well, because we have two more rules, two more contenders, Adrien Ferrer and Thibaut Ramakers. They're going to try to do something. They cannot just stay there and watch. As and some trouble. Unfortunately, some trouble indeed for Leo Robinson. He dropped all the way down to 6. What happened to Robinson? Was it a mechanical trouble? As at the same time, Jules Caranta is taking the lead. Jules Caranta is back in the lead, but the switchback is done by Garcia immediately in the chicane. In which order will they finish at the checkered flag? Take your bets right now, because we have two players for one victory, and they're already being able to pull away from the rest. Macaulay Bishop is still in third, but he just dropped 6/10 behind those two. Garcia, Jules Caranta, Bishop is not far ahead. Thibaut Ramakers is now fourth. Then we have Ferrer, Robinson. We thought that the pole sitter could actually hold on to the lead for a bit more long, but by the look of it, he lost momentum at the exit of the chicane. I don't know if it was a mechanical trouble, but he's still in the race. Aaron Garcia, Jules Caranta, we're about to enter the last lap, ladies and gentlemen, on the outside. On the chicane, that's going to be very tight. That's going to be very tight. Maybe the photo finish once again for this final. Aaron Garcia going defensive halfway through the start-finish straight. It forces actually Caranta on the exit. And Macaulay Bishop takes second and takes Ramakers with him. Disaster for Jules Caranta, who drops from second to fourth. Adrien Ferrer might try to go as well, run the inside or outside of a Frenchman who's having to go defensive. He no longer thinks about the victory. Garcia is ahead. Macaulay Bishop is second. Ramakers back in the podium for VDK. Jules Caranta is down to fourth. Maybe even worse if Adrien Ferrer or either Leo Robinson is able to get past. The hairpin will be one of... Oh, contact! Macaulay Bishop is going against Aaron Garcia. This is the battle for the win. There was a bit of a contact. Macaulay Bishop is being pushed by Thibaut Ramakers. And watch out! Jules Caranta is back in second. He's there on the inside. Can he actually attack once again Garcia? Ramakers is third. Disastrous for Macaulay Bishop. All the way down to fifth. The last chicane. Two out of the race and the track. And this will be victory. Aaron Garcia wins the Winter Cup in Valencia. Right away from third place is from France. Please welcome Hugo Martinello. Second place from Algeria. Please welcome Leo Robinson. Congratulations, Leo. And finally, he's been in dominant form all weekend, winning on home soil from Spain, Aaron Garcia. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to MDC Racing. And let's welcome the representative, Oriol Dalman. Congratulations, MDC Racing. This will be time for another champagne shower. Thank you very, very much indeed. Congratulations again to Aaron Garcia, Leo Robinson, and Hugo Martinello. Watch out for the champagne shower. Here we go, champagne! Watch out. There's always a bit of champagne flowing around, isn't it?